What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. So today we're going to kind of step back and look at our debugging tools, because I want to be able to, start integrating and hooking into my deck manager component, being able to add cards, view all the cards in the deck, all the cards in the game, add cards, remove cards from the hand, from the deck, and kind of just test out synergies on the fly, using ImGui as the hook to add and remove cards. So I've already added a little window. It doesn't do much. It just shows all the cards that we have in the game. It scrubs for the type of data asset that these are. And it just kind of shows you what's selected. Obviously, there needs to be more. That's what we're going to work on. I want to be able to display the full content of that information. Basically saying, hey, this is the name of the asset. This is the directory of the asset. Maybe like this is the ability set, this is stuff in the ability set, here's the data in the ability set, and kind of just break it down and then tell it to, hey, add this card to either the active deck or add it to the player's hand, just to be able to quickly test things and load things in. So we'll see how far we'll go. Probably be able to at least display the information in a way that makes sense. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're definitely going to defer to the way I handle it for attributes, because like attributes do a decent job, as well as the damage system pipeline. But having like this kind of table says the name and all the information about it, and like a button that says add to hand or add to deck or something, will be pretty useful. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I gotta think a little bit out loud what the ImGui needs to say, right? So obviously, I'll keep the combo as it is, like the selected combo and everything, but we're just gonna have to just make a new table here. So we're gonna say if ImGui start a begin table. Call it all card game table. The number of columns, this is what will probably need to be a little bit flexible, because I'm not 100% sure how many we need. Like, I like one section to kind of just be information about the card, I guess. So like the card's data asset name and its directory, I think is fine. And then the other row or column, I should say, would be, I guess, high-level card information. I guess we could also look at a card data asset as well. So displaying card info, so showing the icon, the ability card type, description and the name. So the card info, and then the next column could be information about the ability asset, or ability set, I should say. So the array, maybe a way to override the card level, and like minimum levels and stuff like that could be possibly interesting. So we'll just do a little bit by a little bit, but I think that's the way to go. So raw information, the data asset name and the directory. So that's one column. Second column, card info. Third column, ability set information. Fourth column, buttons to like add to deck, add to hand, things like that. We'll start with add with hand. So it seems to be like 4 columns. So we'll work with that assumption for now. And then there's a bunch of these table flags that we can just add. So we just doubled up on that. Seems fine. That, and then that's right. So we can do something like this. I don't know if we want to do scroll freeze. Let's just do this, and yeah, we'll say card. So card. So can't you just put the info data like card icon and description into the gameplay ability itself? Yeah, but you could. And the reason why I'm separating out that data is just so it is separated. maybe I'm being too cautious, but who knows if this game will ever be something that more than me will just work on. But if you ever want to have exclusive checkouts and stuff, you don't really want to have people fighting over assets just because they want to change a name or an icon within an ability, and then someone else wants to work inside the ability to change the logic, So I kind of want to keep that separation just so they're in two different places, so that those aren't being conflicted with each other with things like Perforce. But if you're working on your project by yourself, you're just doing stuff nitty gritty, totally could make sense to put this information in the ability itself. I just chose to separate it out. So yeah, card. Maybe card directory data. I don't know, that makes sense. Card info. Card ability info. And then actions, I guess. Hoping that's enough to make it feel like it makes sense. Well, let's compile. But again, you make a good point. It could be abstraction for the sake of abstraction, but I feel like it works. But I just started doing this stuff for this project, so I'm not sure if it truly will work or not. Hey, happy Sunday to you too, Casper. How you doing? Thanks for popping in. I saw your comment on the video about possible concerns on having so many data assets, and I'm not sure. I don't know if the reason why I'm making it a data asset, and I don't know if this is a valid thing or not, but it's just so I have something to read and write to, so that whenever there's eventually saved game data, I can save it in a place. Because if you have a card, and we want to save the card level, that's the way you do it, I guess. And you can have duplicates of cards, and each card would have a reference to its own level and stuff like that. So you could have 3 cards of the same type. One just happens to be upgraded more than others. And again, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Say you have 10 of the same exact card, and you decide to upgrade that card, right? So one individual card saying it's level 5. Does that mean all cards are going to be level 5 of that type, or just this one specific card is now level 5? Not sure. Something to think about, I think. Because maybe it'll be too much of a grind to ask players to level up each individual card, so if they do have duplicates. It's okay, I have 5 fireball cards, I have to make them all level 5. What does that look like in the end? Yeah, I know JS is easy to work with in Ninja. I was just wondering if you're worried about that. I'm worried about it, of course. Maintaining everything is probably going to be tricky. Hey, Graham, how you doing? Good afternoon, game devs. Hell yeah. The work never stops. Thanks for popping in. Well, let's see if our updates to ImGui worked out. It did not. Which makes sense, because I don't think we ended the table, right? And we'll grab that. Because some data of the card would potentially remain static, ideally. Regardless of the card level, it would still be the same ability being activated. I do have, and again, I don't know if it's gonna work out for me in the end, but some mechanics of the card would be gated via level. So, for example, the fireball example, at level 0 or level 1, we don't allow a duration for it, so it's one and done. But if you get it to level 2 or level 3, we introduce a duration to it. So it's okay, within 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you can activate this ability as much as you want. without additional cost. And then, potentially eventually, maybe for more for passive cards and stuff like that, the highest level you can unlock for it allows it to be a permanent passive. So as soon as you play the card, it's slotted into a passive slot for however long you want until you have to replace it. So if you only have 3 passive slots and you have 3 already active in there and you want to play a new passive one, it has to overtake the first slot again, just so you kind of have to balance what you're trying to achieve there. But yeah, in practice, who knows? We have to really kind of get there. So let's see if it crashes this time. No, it doesn't. Awesome. Yeah, here we go. So card directory data, card info, card ability info, actions. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why there's 5 columns. Did I make it 5? Who knows? So now essentially what I would need to do is iterate now over the cards, right? And probably have to load them. Don't really want to load them all the time, but I think I only would really want to load that when I need to grant it, but I don't know if that's necessary or not. Yeah, let's go. So I gotta do table next row. Then I want to say, well, here I have to iterate first. For cached card assets. No, what's the actual? Guess I could just do it like this, right? So something very similar to this for loop. So yeah, eventually, like, I'm gonna remove this initial one because it's just for the combo. So just do something like this. This maybe. Like that, right? So for get the data asset, and then yeah, push ID, sure. Just do next row, and then maybe now I could say ImGui. Oh no, table next column I want to do. I guess I have to start with next row and then next column. Let's see if we can get the display name in there. So yeah, we just do ImGui text. GUI text label, so that's asset name. So hopefully that in itself will show the information correctly, but let's see. How's everybody's weekend going? Football, it's all good. The other day I beat that game, Cocoon. Really trippy puzzle game, really good. And today I started 9 Souls. It's another kind of parry-based kind of game. Heard really good things about it. Weekend's going stressful. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. Why is it stressful? Missing a pop ID, which is fine now. So anyway, okay. We are getting all the information displayed here, so that's great. Fix that pop ID. Pop. See. Give it. So that cool. had the genius idea of backporting the 5.8 substrate shader to non-substrate 5.5.4. So what ended up being the results of that? I'm not too good with substrate or any shadering or anything like that, so I'm curious what the results are of that move. Because the whole thing shit its pants. Now I also want to construct so const, so f string. Maybe I could say card data asset name instead of that, and then a string card data directory path equals asset data. Hopefully that's valid. And then you have to be like ImGui like next line. No, I think just one dealer separates it down. Now I don't know if at this point I would need to load the information. We could say asset data dot get. Well, I feel like we'd have to load it. Do you have any idea how I can create a gameplay ability that has to be charged by holding down the abilities hotkey? The longer you charge the ability up to a maximum, the stronger it will be in the end. Maybe you have something like this planned for your game too. So I forget the name of the. I forget if it's even part of the logic, but give me a second. GA whatever. So there's charge movement, for example. I used to have this in my jump. I don't know if it's there anymore, but I had an example of that. Yeah, here where there is this helper. It's called wait input release. So basically, it will test if the input is like when the input is released, and it gives you the time held. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I don't know if it works for my jump anymore. I got rid of that. But I think it's because, let me just find the IMC for this. IMC default gamepad. I think because the input also has to be down. Down or hold, one of the two. So let me change it to down. Now I'm holding it, and then I let go, and I'm up. So I used to have some logic in here to do some stuff, but I guess it just max attenuation. Let me make it 5 to see it change. Doesn't really change. But yeah, you can use this wave input release. I'm not sure why this isn't going. Oh, I guess because this, yeah, 0.2 makes sense. But yeah, I'm not sure why it's never really getting to here, does it? It never gets to that point. I wonder why. Because yeah, we get to here. Yeah. But like, do we get to here? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry, let me see. Does release already get called? So test already released. Huh? Now it gets released because I let go. This is print string. It doesn't seem like it's doing much. Critical stability. Does custom event get called? No. Range of this doesn't call anything. We get to this. You'll get to that. Strange. I don't kill the timer, does it do anything? No. Now it gets called. Because it's down? Hold. Kind of like doing the opposite of what you'd expect for some reason. That's weird. This is set to what? Activation on input triggered. Yeah. Not sure. It's weird. We should get hello immediately, right? Yeah. Ah. Because it's getting called multiple times. So we don't want to re-trigger instant stability, maybe? There you go. Now I'm holding it really long. Wham! And you go flying, right? So I need to... Because I don't know, I don't want this for my ability anymore, but still. I should... Should work now. Like the guy should crouch down. Yeah, there you go. And then goes wow. So kind of like that. So biggest sense. Wait input release. Your input needs to be on down. And make sure that your retrigger instant stability is false. So like again, I don't need it for jump anymore, at least for now. But that should get you to what you need, I hope. So, boom. Yeah. So, back to our ImGui. So, we're still mismatching push ID, pop ID. So, still a problem. Going to assume, let's take out this combo box. Maybe it's giving issues with the mismatch. Well, let's keep the code there. Just double check. Unless I didn't compile because we got distracted. Who knows? So hopefully the error will go away in our ImGui, and it should hopefully also display this part directory path. I'm not sure that wasn't really showing either. So maybe I didn't compile. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, push ID good. So yeah, now we have the name and the directory all looking nice. I'll also need to scale down my UI again. So we got the directory, we got the push pop ID, all that stuff good. So now, yeah, this is where I'm concerned. Do I need... It seems like I need to load things. Basically... because I need to get the card data asset. So I need to... I have fears that it's going to load all the time. So maybe I have to be careful here. So I want to say this, right? Essentially. This might need to be like the first thing I do, where it's like, okay, load a card equals, so it's not going to be selected card. Not yet. Could it be this not yet? Guess not. But yeah, I have to do this. And I can say select. And maybe I can move the stuff into this. Do like an else. Load synchronous. Don't know if that's gonna look good or work. Should hopefully be able to say maybe I can scope these into columns and stuff. So there's that. I hope that's. Oh yeah, let's see. So const f string card name. Just saying, you know. Okay. I don't know if it's valid. Let's take out this other one. We don't need it, but let's see. Do card name. Other stuff we need for the card info. Let's just see if the card name works. And I want to look into how to make a search. ImGui. I'll probably have to ask ChatGPT for this. Not some information. So it's just input text. Makes sense. All right. Let's see. Open this. Do we get a crash? So far, no. Okay. So the first one is empty. But yeah, it's showing the same name again. So definitely don't think I put in the right information. We did get a card name. So let's look at this again. Let's look at an example just to confirm that if it works or not. So let's look at I probably would want to maybe make this stuff selectable and copyable. So let's look at speed modifier. So card name is empty. So loaded card name. Okay, so I did it backwards. Autocomplete made me do it backwards, I swear. So it's saying, hey, it's a card string empty. So I think I need to say what? So if it is empty, essentially I would want to first kind of swap these two. But then I should change the thing here. So I want to say loaded card, card data, right? Should be valid now. But let's go even harder in the paint, right? Let's do another text. We can kind of split this up into sections, I suppose. We'll say, what's it gonna autocorrect to? Card ability name? No, don't want to do that. What is the data we have? Because there's description and then type and then icon. So card description. So more or less the same. So say seems like that would work. Let's do text. Oops. Good. I don't know if I'll need to be like, description, card name. I think hopefully it'll be bespoke enough. And then I'll have to do card type and icon. I'll have to look at how to draw an image and load an image in. But let's do the next thing. So const string card ability type equals always forget how to write this as a string. And it definitely is not going to be empty. So I don't think we ever have to do such a check here. Get value. What my skills are showing because I always forget how to write this. I need to get his just look it up. When in doubt, look it up again. So in order to blah 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 blah. I should be able to say something like this. Set value. That. Gucci. So static enum, you guys prefer the string file value. It seems like it's unnecessary cast, redundant cast now, but fine. That should be good. And now icon, right? So how do I load in an icon? So how do I even work with images in ImGui? I don't even know. So let's look it up. ImGui, you draw. In the meanwhile, let us compile what we have and see what happens. ImGui drawing an image is simple. I call image, and then we have the IM texture ID. That decides the work. Real work is getting the correct IM ID from a U texture. Basic call in Unreal, ImGui plugin use texture 2D. Okay. Seems to be a way, so let's see. So yeah, fireball turn into a fireball and cast. Interesting. So why is this is why this debug is actually really nice. Because yeah, it kind of tells you everything's empty. And then aim cast. Fires fireball. Test card. Oh wait, aim cast is not the right thing. I need slot, right? There's card type. Am I crazy? And then there's ability type. That's wrong. Okay, so I'm doing the wrong thing. So that one, the card ability type. Slot type. That be good. Now let's load the image. And so we gotta do U texture B. Here, say goals. That's what's wrong. I have to load it as well. Synchronous. Since it's ImGui, since it's a debug, I don't think it's a problem really loading it synchronously. Guess I could do something similar to this actually. Or you could say off. I'll call this part icon. We have selected card assets, so it's like this, right? So tsoft. Don't know if it's texture 2D. Data asset real quick. Do we have card info? It's card data. Approach. And that info is let's grab you. Say so tsoft texture, and then we say part icon flat, and then say if no, it didn't work. Say Oh, maybe I. That, and I can put it here. Now I should be able to say if loaded icon. I'm doing it in both places, so I should be able to just say if loaded icon resource GUI texture. I think this is it. So cannot initialize local variable texture type and with oh. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. But then we should be able to say ImGui. I'm not 100% sure this error is about. So cannot initialize local variable texture 1D of type ImGui texture 1D with FRHI texture. So is there some task that I need to do? We'll just have to let it fail so we can evaluate it. Get type mismatch correct way. From this common integration you should pass. Okay, so it's saying do that. And I just do oh. So on sideline int. So that kind of cast doesn't work. Do reinterpret cast? It's fine. Okay. Don't know if that's gonna work, but let's see. How to copy this line? So I can make the text an input text. Get input text, copy field, buffer size. Well, let's see. So, see what happens. Get a crash. Okay, so technically something's drawn, but yeah, not what I was hoping. Let's see if let's ask Google. So I am do image showing. Wait. Sure why it's pink. Maybe we can make it hoverable so you can show you where the icon is it's located. So it means I didn't get a valid GPU texture handle, so the render falls back to the debug missing texture. So most of the ImGui plugins provide a function like get texture ID, register add texture to bypass the pink icon. Common patterns, one of these, this plugin. Plugin I'm using. Just try all these examples. So, let's try. I am texture ID, texture D equals this ImGui module get texture ID. So this is not a thing. Texture ID. I don't like texture ID equals export input. Yeah, not that one. Now, is there a helper get or create? That doesn't make sense. None of those. So, can I use this reinterpret task? I say so. FR texture equal to get resource texture get. This texture let's see if that made any sort of difference. What language is that? This is C++. This is with ImGui. Doing some debug windows. Then we can render our icon for the card in our debug here. Hopefully. So that's good, but yeah, who knows. Still showing magenta here, unfortunately. What could be wrong? Suggest doing some debugging too, so debugging here. We'll check the logs. Could you make your mic louder, please? Sure. Sometimes I mumble. So, sorry about that. Filters, edit filters. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I don't want to make it too much louder. Maybe 13 is good enough. Hopefully that's better for you guys. Yeah, let's look now at our log. Seems fine. Not sure what it's yelling about. Let's see. That's correct. Name is correct. If you look at the test card. Let's just do what they say here. We have a loaded card icon, right? So let's try that. How long have you been programming? I mean, in C++, not too long, maybe a year or two, on and off. Did a little bit of programming with the Python, but you know, I haven't used it in a long time, so I suck. So I'm trying to relearn it a little bit. Most of my experience is in blueprints with Unreal, but I'm just trying to get a little bit more comfortable with C++ so that I could be a little bit better at work, so I can communicate with engineers there. Hopefully, convince them I know what I'm talking about when I'm asking for some stuff. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's see. Still pink. So, most common real fixing with register texture. So if your backend expects an SRV, very common. Then I go back in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's try it this way. Maybe I can just, maybe it's because it's not loaded in time. Let's just be super duper sure. Do you freelance or work in a company? I work at a company. I only really work on my side project for funsies. I don't do any sort of contract work or freelance work. I did co-author some books with Unreal, but nothing too crazy. Okay, boom. Okay, now just to be uber sure, yeah, still go. Let's see, what is it recommending? Let's do this. So again, load an icon. Can't resolve this. Again, detect data, it's a U texture 2D. So let me just plop in like the whole section here. so they know. And what about degree? I went to school, I went to college in Arizona. I got bachelor's in, I think, game design. Kind of a pointless degree, honestly, but it was a stepping stone to where I am today, so must be worth it in some sense. Well, let's see what's wrong here. Do I need to import some library here? Either. Who would have thought getting an image would be tough? Plug in here. So we're in Deck Knight main. I don't know if it's in Deck Knight plugins. Oops. README. Okay, so there's a render target thing as well. So there is this texture render target and then texture handle. Seems like the README actually has information on how I should be able to render textures, actually. I'm studying cybersecurity, and in this term, we're learning C#. Very cool. Cybersecurity is very crazy stuff. So... what parts of cybersecurity do you enjoy doing the most or like learning about the most? Is it just like ethical hacking kind of stuff, or is it more than that? Anything that's like this. This doesn't exist. Does this exist? Thanks for the subscription there, Dayon's Lab, much appreciated. So register texture. So I need const f name. So do I have to like do like loaded card icon dot get name, loaded card icon, and then true? Okay. Maybe I have to do the same like tchar. Maybe that's valid. I don't think that's valid. Let's see. It's just my second term and we're learning the basics and rules. Also have math history and etc. Okay. No, I liked math when I was in school. I liked physics, but I was never super good at math or super good at physics or anything. I was always kind of like middle of the road. Now, if I could make this texture actually load and not be magenta pink, maybe I could prove myself as competent, but until then, we're gonna struggle. So it compiled. That's a win. Okay, so crash. So check if trying to register a texture with a name that is already used chose a different name. Or make unique false. Okay, I guess I could make it false. At least it told me, right? 10 times the charm. So yeah, once we can draw this thing, yeah, I want to make it hoverable, and I want to be able to display the name of the icon as well, or the directory of the icon. I need to make the text selectable or highlightable so you can copy and paste it. I wonder if I can have a button, find asset, and it'll open it in the content browser. I don't know. What can you recommend for future IT members? Study as many languages as you can. Try to be good in one thing, really well, and then branch out from there. Don't try to cover too many bases at once. Okay, so sorry. So we got our icon showing, which is great. So, but yeah, like study. Like now's the time to study hard. Work hard as you can. Get as much done as you can. Just because as you get older, time is not as available. So take advantage of this, so that later down the line you won't need to work too hard to keep up. Honestly, you're always gonna have to learn. You're always gonna have to keep up, but do as much as you can now. So let's see if that ImGui Debug won't give me any more errors, and then I should be able to move on to the next section. The ability side of things. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we have the directory here, but yeah, no, the rest of the information is not being drawn. I definitely fucked something up. Okay, we got this for loop. Goes through all of them. Guess I need to just say Yeah, the first card was loaded, but the rest weren't loaded, so hopefully that's the issue. Table next column. Ability stuff. Hopefully. Let's see if that messed it up or not. There you go. Perfect. So there we go. So I wonder how I can kind of fake draw something. At least it's something, right? Is there a default icon that the library comes with? Let's see. Transfer no does not show the default empty, which I use directly. Okay, what you could do instead: draw a placeholder rectangle. Here's a default texture. Say alt texture here. I think I'm something like I've heard of all that data and information in IT and don't even know what to start from. Yeah, I mean, learning anything, everything's gonna look daunting just because there's so much information out there. So now's the time to kind of expose yourself to as much of it as you can. Trying to find what you like the most. When I was learning, you know, they were throwing a lot of game engines at us. I went to school in like 2010, 2011. So back then it was like Unreal Engine 3 or UDK, the old version of Unity. There wasn't Godot back then. They showed us a little bit of CryEngine. They showed us a little bit of, I think it's called Hammer from Valve, the Source Engine, maybe, Hammer Editor. They showed us the Warcraft 3 editor. And so I ended up finding Unreal and liking Unreal, using Unreal, and I've just been using Unreal Engine since then. So I've been using the engine, I guess, technically for close to 15 years now, which is kind of crazy to think about. And I'm not even that good with it, you know. I know some of the nuances, and you know, the engines always change and try to keep up with all of that, but there's still some stats from legacy, old school versions of it. So yeah. My advice: just find something that you like. I got else down here. Oh. And I don't know what categories things like IT have and cybersecurity have. So I guess that's going to be the point of your first few semesters here. It's like kind of finding what exists in that field, and then really digging into the things that you do find fascinating and interesting. Let's see. So yeah, some default texture. Let's say empty, right? So cool. Doesn't look great, but whatever. So now we can do card ability info. So I think again, a lot of these stuff is gonna be loaded asynchronously here. So we'll just have to deal with it. So now we gotta essentially. Well, I guess the last thing, I don't know if I'll have to really say the directory for it, but I guess we could. But so we gotta say definitely the soft into this. What we'll do. So T soft, it's gonna be you Card ability set. Card ability set. TP card data. Dot ability set. So yeah, it's not really. So hopefully that's gonna be fine. Well, I guess the ability set itself is not soft loaded. I guess I could technically just say. Hopefully I could just say. There. Now, some of this stuff is lower, soft loaded. The other thing isn't. So, I also really enjoy hardware part of PC. Okay. To build your own PCs, I assume. I tried building a PC. The one that's in the desk behind me is the one I technically built. But the one I'm using, it's a pre-built. I always get worried about building a PC because I'm, my hands aren't super steady and I'm not always super patient. So these things are delicate, and sometimes I just try to force things into place, and that can cause issues. So I try to be careful, and then, I'm also not very good about doing my proper research to make sure that everything's compatible with each other. So sometimes I might not buy the right motherboard, buy the right RAM for the motherboard, buy the right cooling systems, and blah blah blah. So it definitely takes a lot of patience, a lot of attention to detail that sometimes I don't have. So we're loading the ability set. Boom, boom, boom. So now I should be able to say, we just say ImGui text. Ability. It's probably gonna give me an error. More or less something kind of like this. For cost, blah blah blah, get ability specs. So not exactly like this. But I should be able to say, because card data, card ability set, I have what? Essentially, I have granted abilities. Granted abilities are this, game ability in the slot type. So do I have, so there's ability card type. No, I think I need to change the name of the prior stuff. It's card type, not slot type. Card. Slot type. Not this type, it's what? I have too many types. Card data asset, F card data is in here. Yeah, so E card type. So is that a type though? No, I have. So deck this ability set, right? So I should have something. And again, it's all soft references, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. So which is this empty array of stuff. So essentially, I should hopefully. I'm just gonna there so I see it, but should be able to say for const. I don't know if that's const, but abilities, yeah, seems good. Now I shouldn't have to do more than just kind of get the soft class pointer to do all this stuff. I guess I have to load it. Oh. This. Should be able to say, so you off the equals okay. Entry. What? Gameplay ability. I don't know if I have to do this there. I don't know if that's gonna be a pointer. It's fine. But now I should be able to construct my text. I've been doing that here. Const ability name equals just name. I should think I should be able to just put that, and then name. And then similarly, kind of like the same enum. This. So it's a ability type. Then I just have to say loaded ability. So entry. Slot type. Actually, it's gas ability slot type. Hope that works. Yeah, I would do something very similar with the gameplay effects and then the attributes. And again, I don't know if I'll ever need attributes or anything. How did you know languages? Courses or what? Yeah, combination of courses and just practice and you know, ChatGPT and Copilot and just kind of shooting ideas off. C++ specifically and using Unreal Engine specifically, a lot of the knowledge came from my knowledge with the blueprint. So knowing blueprints pretty well, I was able to kind of navigate into the C++ side, at least in the context of Unreal Engine. And then once I got a little bit more comfortable there, then I kind of got more comfortable with C++ in general. But yeah, some courses online. Whenever I get the chance, I try to get courses and just try to learn more and more. let's see if the ability information is loaded in and compiled, so that's a start. So nothing loaded for abilities. Let's see why, I wonder. So we do get here. So granted gameplay abilities is, I guess, technically empty. Shouldn't be empty, right? Well, let's look at test card data. In our test card, CIS test card, this does have a gameplay ability in it. Now, I'm not sure why that's not showing. Do I get to there, for example? We do. So, yeah, no. Eventually, yeah, we get to here. So soft ability run. So now we do load synchronous. Then it fails. So why? Soft ability ref. So that just fails. And then we get here again. Again, evasive fireball. Definitely did something wrong. So let's look at the different stuff we did before. So select the card is T soft object pointer. Equals to this, and then I did the same here. Do soft object act. The T soft object pointers. And the ability set again is what? T soft class. Oh. That's where we went wrong. So class path. Maybe I'll still do the same path. So loaded ability. So what's wrong here? So yeah, so like yeah, default object. Maybe that'll work. This seems to be redundant if I could just say ability name, right? It compiled, so that's good. Moment of truth. Do we crash? No. And we get the information. Yes. Default slot. So yeah, we could see two test case examples. It's good. That's good. Let's do the gameplay effects and we'll call it a day. So it's gonna be a very similar for loop. I'm gonna do F gas course card ability set gameplay effect entry was granted gameplay effects, and then we just gotta change a bunch of stuff. We gotta make this a view gameplay effect soft gameplay effect ref loaded gameplay effect. Let's do all the corrections in between. So we gotta say gameplay effect blah. Make sure we're doing all the right stuff here. The loaded gameplay soft gameplay of a single schedule object. View gameplay effect. Gameplay effect. Loaded gameplay effect, and then possibly maybe write some information about the gameplay effect. Not sure. But yeah, let's see if this is a redundant thing. So we're gonna call this gameplay effect name. And I simply just put it in like that. Does that yell at me? We'll find out. If it doesn't, we'll make a pass real quick as well before we end the stream. Make sure we're all clean here. Okay. So maybe the redundant part is that. And then, yeah, we'll probably continue on Tuesday this week. And yeah, a lot of these things don't have a gameplay effect in them. I expect all these to be kind of empty, and I think it's there's no separate header for the gameplay effects. But slowly, surely. So yeah, ability slot, yeah. But one does have a gameplay effect. Oh, a couple have a gameplay effect. So let's make sure we add that. So we're gonna do so granted gameplay abilities, and we'll say granted gameplay effects. And we can just reduce the redundancy here in a couple places. want to introduce like colors and stuff like that to the names. But so I guess I could say, you know, if oh, not sure how I can blend. Similar here. Boom, boom. So, last check here before we call it a day. Try to compile it while the editor was open. Oops. Got to make my preset more presency. Oh well, better late than never, I guess. Okay. Go. So, granted gameplay ability is empty has no. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Nice card name, like wrong. Oh, because it is empty. Empty card, everything. Cool. Now, you know, then eventually it's gonna be the attributes that we grant, and then some more information about the card. Information. Maybe I would have like a different like option here, like a override card levels and stuff like that before it's explicitly granted. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. We'll have to see. But so far things are working. I'm happy about that. So we have the cards, we're just got more details. This is definitely going to help us debug things down the line, I think, I hope. Being able to see on a holistic level any missing data. It's like, hey, if something is empty, like for example, there's no card name set or no description set or anything, we can kind of just see it here. I want to introduce some sort of fuzzy search so we can find the right ones here. Just make it neater. And then actions, being able to override the card level, displaying information about the durations, actions of being able to grant it to your hand or your deck and stuff like that. Maybe we can do something quick, just for fun. Again, you know, me not knowing enough is enough, but I could say ImGui button, add to deck, if could say, you know, if deck manager. I think I have that, right? I need to store that too. So let's say static u deck manager component. Here. That's a deck manager component. Draw a card, force card in hand. And this takes the let's see if this works. And then I swear I'm done. Regardless if it works or not. We'll call it. Boom, 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 boom. And I should have the proper delegates hooked in so that my UI will respond to that button or that call. So let's see. Okay, so no. No. Well, I mean, it's adding to deck, but I'm forcing card in hand, right? So do we get here? This is invalid. Cool. Here, right? Never be instantiated, unfortunately. Okay, well, we know it kind of works. I guess it's because it's technically loaded, right? Make a if. I know I just lied. I'm keeping working, but whatever. Last try. Super duper promise. Super duper duper promise. Promise duper. So yeah, I'll probably have to encapsulate this into its own like function, which is fine. Let's just make sure it works. Because maybe it would have worked if it was on like a fresh editor start. And then I'll make a development build off stream just to confirm that the ImGui stuff still works. Now I have a bunch of fireball cards. Awesome. So that works. Yay. Okay. So that's where I'm going to end it for today. Thanks everyone for watching. It's always super duper appreciated. Make sure to follow me and subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to do the same and follow me on Twitch. For those who aren't already following me here, I guess I don't have a Twitch link, but yeah, you can go to twitch.tv/JevansJames. I definitely spelled that wrong. Just believe me. Make sure to also join our Discord. And like I said earlier, yeah, we'll be streaming again on Tuesday. We'll continue the ImGui Debug, see if we can get that topped off with all the functionality that we need. And then maybe on Thursday we'll clean it up further, make it a little more fancy with colors, coding, and things like that. And there's not much happening in terms of other streamers, so I won't raid anywhere. So thanks again for watching. It's always super appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good week coming up. And I'll see you soon.